First of all, I'm a Web3 artist. I'm also the CEO of Alpha Girl Club. Has anyone heard of Alpha Girl Club? We are a wellness-based utility and PFP project. I got involved in NFTs and Web3 in 2020 when I was bored during the pandemic. Anybody else during that time? Or was that just me? Okay. You guys are tough. Am I gonna have to make some dad jokes? I don't know. Anyway, why I'm here and what I have been doing in the Web3 space is creating wellness opportunities, kind of like bite-sized variety of events and activations so that people can understand that creating a wellness routine is not that challenging. It's actually just about taking the time and looking at your life and figuring out where to fit wellness in. So, this is going to be a practical guide to cultivate your health and supercharge your creativity. Without further ado. So, a couple things. Let me just ask you guys, since you're so silent, a couple questions. Number one, raise your hand if you are creative or consider yourself creative. Everybody's hand should be up, that's fine. If you consider yourself healthy. Okay. If you consider yourself both creative and healthy, raise your hand. Keep your hands up, but drop your hand if you don't have a consistent routine. Most of you kept your hand up. And that's what we're going to talk about. So you can put your hands down, unless you want to keep them up, both hands. But part of the creative process is incorporating health into the creativity and the flow of what you do. So, a couple things. Have you heard of the creative flow state or flow state? You can get into flow state. Thank you, Seattle in the back here. The flow state is where you are engulfed, immersed in something that you love so much that you can't possibly get out. You don't want to get out. And the only way to truly do that is to spend time doing that thing. But many times we can spend too much time and then we start burning out. So I'm going to give you some practical tips on how to not only cultivate that flow state, but also how to prevent burnout. So let's get into this. Clicky? Clicker? Maybe? There we go. So, 3 things. The connection between health and creativity, strategies for optimal health, and strategies for unlocking creativity. Because I don't want to just tell you stuff. I want to give you some things that you can actually use in your daily life. Investing in your physical, mental, and emotional health is the key to unlocking your creative potential. Does that resonate with anyone in here? Nod your head if it does somewhat. I hope so. Because what I want, hopefully, for everyone to walk away with is the feeling of hope, the feeling of life ahead, of what you've been stuck in. I heard earlier, I was listening in on the photography panel, and some people had mentioned that they've been creatively blocked before. And if you're creative, if you've ever been there, nod your head, so I'm not alone here. As a creative, I've been creatively blocked many times and feeling like there's no way to get out of that. But I have found that there are ways and techniques to go ahead and do that in your life. So, let me tell you a little bit about my journey and how I got here. Number one, I was not originally in the crypto world. I was actually a user experience design manager and creative director at Amazon. And I started hitting burnout pretty early, but I just kept going. And so I would create on the side, like I would draw and I would paint and I would do yoga and teach yoga. And that was like my side hustle to keep me alive while I would go to work and just feel like shit. And if anybody else has been in the corporate tech environment, you know that burnout is a real thing. And I felt like I was lacking creativity, I was always anxious, and I was feeling angry and frustrated. And I recognized that I could be the only one to help myself. No manager is gonna be like, are you okay? How are you feeling? Truly, they want you to just get your work done. They don't care about you. So you have to care about you. And I recognized and realized that I had to step outside of what I was doing and what I was comfortable with to create a life for myself that was balanced between health and creativity. Through that, I found the passion of showing that to others and helping them understand how to create a better balance for themselves. So, I quit my job at Amazon, kept my stock, and I started actually teaching and speaking about wellness to corporate gatherings and communities, and then also in the conference spaces, which is why I'm here, actually. I've kind of combined the two. I also teach yoga around the world. I teach retreats, wellness events, and offerings, and do a lot of private work. In addition to that, during the pandemic, because I was teaching yoga and no longer could you go in person with anyone, I started muraling. And that was something that I hadn't had any time to do. But because all the businesses were shut down and everybody was boarding up their buildings, I started painting. Because a lot of my yoga clientele, they reached out and they were like, we know you paint. Can you come and help us create some life? And so I started doing that during the pandemic. And it's just taken off ever since. I started painting live, and that became a whole thing. And then the W Hotel in Seattle hired me to be their resident instructor, so I live at a hotel. Yeah, it's a weird life, but I'm into it. Room service, you know? Let's talk about the connection between health and creativity. There are 3 main points that I'm going to cover. Physical activity increases blood flow to the brain, delivering oxygen and nutrients essential for brain and health and creative thinking. Number 2, mental well-being, which is a hot topic these days, especially during the pandemic. I believe a lot of people's mental health was at a decline, but there are ways to improve that, and we'll talk about that as well. But well-being helps us manage negative thoughts, self-doubt, and creative blocks that can hinder the creative process, and I'm sure we all know how that feels. It is a very dark place, and it's important to come back to the light. Emotional well-being supports emotional resilience, which is crucial in navigating the ups and downs of the creative process. Also a great way to build art that people identify with, right? Because it's all about empathy at the end of the day. So here's some artists who have made health a priority in their lives. Pharrell Williams, he does a lot of mental or mindfulness work. He also is a huge believer in positive affirmations, and he works out all the time and plays sports. And he believes it helps his mental focus and clarity when he goes to create. Marina Abramovic, I don't pronounce her name correctly, but she is a performance artist. She also does a lot of mindfulness training and takes a lot of walks, also does yoga. The late Jean-Michel Basquiat. Anybody a fan in here? R.I.P. It was a good one. But he also ran a lot and did meditation. He also read a lot of books to cultivate his creativity, which is why his art was so expressive and came from so many different angles. Here's some entrepreneurs who've made health a priority. The late Steve Jobs. He primarily spent time in mindfulness and meditation, but also had a plant-based diet, which is also something we're going to be covering. Nutrition is huge. He also worked out regularly. Satya Nadella, CEO of Microsoft, also meditates, has a healthy, balanced movement lifestyle. And Oprah Winfrey also focuses on her mental health and is a huge believer in positive manifestation and affirmations. So here's some strategies for optimal health. Is everyone with me here? Is it? Yeah, okay, great. You guys, if I had gifts, you'd get them. This is my smile to you. So 3 strategies, and these are things that I believe require a balance, because if you put too much time into each category, you won't have enough time. There's only so much time in a day, and there's only so much time in your life to make the moves you need to make to be creative and not burn out. So exercise helps the brain function and creativity. Nutrition is for energy levels and cognitive ability. And sleep, rejuvenation and creative thinking. Who has gotten good sleep here? I barely slept last night, and not because I was nervous, but because I was excited and I'm jet lagged. So tonight I'm going to sleep like a baby. All right. So let's talk about the benefits with a creative routine or with exercise. Number one benefit, enhanced cognitive function. Have you ever been walking and felt like, okay, you've got some good ideas and concepts? This is exactly why. It improves your cognitive function, increased neuroplasticity, boosts mood and reduces stress, and improved energy and focus. Very important. Here are some ways you can build exercise into your life. Start with 15 minutes of movement a day, set a smart exercise goal, schedule your workouts in your calendar, take walking meetings, walk and bike to work. What benefits come with good nutrition? Sustained energy levels, brain function and memory, mental clarity and focus, mood regulation. If you've ever had, has anybody in here been hangry before? It's like hungry and angry. I was like that yesterday. So if you want to improve your mood, have a nutritious, balanced diet. Incorporate a variety of nutrient-dense foods like fruits, veggies, whole grains, lean proteins. Buy and consume mostly whole and unprocessed foods. Pay attention to portion sizes and practice moderation. Plan your meals early in the week and listen to your body's hunger signals. And if you ever have been in a situation where you've eaten too much and felt lethargic, it's like you gotta find the balance and feel when you're full, you're done, okay? Here's some benefits with proper sleep. Brain restoration, enhanced cognitive function, emotional regulation, and unleashed unconscious creativity. What that means is those ideas that are not forced, but those ideas that are maybe from something completely unrelated to whatever you've been focusing on, you can only get those through proper sleep. It's like having a dream and waking up and remembering it. That is the deepest form of creativity, when you completely remove yourself from everything that you have seen recently and you're right in your unconscious creativity. All right, how can you create a good sleep routine? No? Okay, last one? Yeah, okay. Set a consistent sleep schedule, adjust your calendar, aim for 7 to 9 hours of sleep a night, create a relaxed bedtime routine, avoid blue lights, optimize your sleep environment, and put the phone outside your room on Do Not Disturb. Avoid consuming caffeine, alcohol, or large meals. That was so fast. How does 15 minutes go by that fast? I don't even know. Thank you so much. There's a lot more that I could talk about, but I don't have the time for it today. Thank you, Maximilian, for giving me the 5-minute a long time ago. Thank you, everybody who's been here, who has been enjoying this amazing conference. If you'd like to follow me and learn more about what I do and connect, I'd love to meet or link up with you. Again, my name is morganzion. You can follow me on Twitter, morganzion_. And if you'd like to follow along with my project, Alpha Girl Club, please do. Alpha Girl Club on Twitter. That's all. Actually, one more thing. Tomorrow at the beach party, I'll be teaching a light yoga and meditation workshop. It's at 3, and it's for everybody, so I hope you come. Thanks.